We all know as a practice owner, one of the last things you want to think about is tax planning and strategizing for your practice. In addition, the long list of tasks on your radar, it's really hard to do everything. You have to find a trustworthy team of experts that understands the unique and specific needs within veterinary medicine. My suggestion would be my friends at Granite Peak Associates. Granite Peak is an advanced tax planning and veterinary practice advisory firm who has spent many years working within vet med. Their team works year-round to make sure you're able to maximize your profitability while also minimizing your liabilities. Whether you're in the process of purchasing a practice, looking to grow your practice, or transitioning towards the sale of your practice, they are the experts to help guide you through. What makes them different than other firms is their devotion to proactive tax planning. By thinking into the future and creating long-lasting relationships with their clients, Granite Peak can help minimize the amount of taxes paid over the course of many years to come. Head over to their website, granitepeakcpa.com, to receive a personalized comparison of your practice financials against over 140 other hospitals that they've worked with. You'll be able to see how your practice ranks, where you stack up, and where the opportunities are to get better. From there, you can schedule a one-on-one call with one of the members of their team to review and analyze your results. The opportunity speaks for itself. You need someone on your side. Granite Peak Associates is that team. Take advantage of their innovative expertise within the veterinary industry. Recruiting team members in your veterinary practice has never been this hard. You can either bury your head in the sand and hope it goes away or adapt. Enter Guardian Vets. By leveraging best-in-class technology, you can empower your staff and reduce their workload. Help reduce burnout. You also provide a better experience for your clients and patients, which you want to do as you serve them. The solutions Guardian Vets offers includes after-hours triage, virtual CSRs, that know your team and processes, telemedicine, and so much more. Become the employer of choice in your area by offering the best tools to position your team for success. Whether you're starting a de novo, clinic, multi-doctor, or multi-location, Guardian Vets can help you be more efficient and effective. Go to the website, guardianvets.com, click the Get Started button, then let them know that I sent you, right? Let them know the Vet Success Podcast sent you. Get 50% off your first month. Don't let another quarter or year happen before you start making changes, because you know you need to. So talk to the Guardian Vets team today and implement a new solution. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I know it's been a while, and I certainly have failed on my desires to be as consistent with the podcast as I think I've been traditionally. And I think that shows candidly for how many people are tuning in and checking out the show. And I want the show to be high quality. I didn't want to dilute it by just trying to say, hey, every week I'm going to have an episode. If there wasn't really anything to share or say or do, and paired with there's lots of things going on from my side that has made it trickier. That being said, this is going to be my public announcement, but also my commitment to you all and to myself that I have some really good guests. It's just been a matter of summer scheduling and getting people able to record, but there are some really great guests. I'm really excited for some announcements, some different things, and what is coming, as we get to basically back to school into the fall and going through the end of 2024. And it's been a wild year, right? And I think that's pretty apparent to most people. And what I think the theme of this episode is, you have to embrace volatility. And I think volatility in, your personal life, volatility in your work, volatility in maybe the political sphere, in culture, in investing, right? So I'm recording this week, and at the beginning of the week there was a super strong sell-off with some stuff happening from the yen carry trade in Japan that impacted other markets, and you saw this cascading selling across traditional assets, stocks and bonds. You saw it in Bitcoin. Bitcoin went from down, I think, almost like $12,000 in a course of a weekend and a Monday. And then you saw it rebound. So like as I'm recording this on Friday, the 9th, it's back to 61,000 and it touched 49,000 on Monday. So like that volatility, it can make you feel shaken. It can make you question why you're doing certain things. But if you have a good understanding of why you own Bitcoin, let's say, nothing changed. And I think that actually is a really good analogy for, your personal life and work. Like if you are set on why you are opening that new clinic, why you are, setting aside time to make sure, you're
clients and patients get the best care, and you're changing a workflow or you're upgrading a technology that maybe it's going to cost you more, right? And it's going to cause issues maybe with the team. There's some volatility there to make that change, but on the other side of it, it's a much better experience. I think that's important. And so this idea of we have a plan, right, in our minds. At least this is how I'm wired, and I'm not in everyone else's head, and I can't know what everyone else is thinking, right? But in my mind, I've always had a clear vision of where I'm going, what I'm trying to build towards. What are these things, whether it's a personal side, professional side, all these different things. And what's happened over the past 2 years and plus, it's always changed, or it's blown up, or it's been really volatile, and it's not been the vision that I thought. And it's been amplified even more recently. And I'll share this, even though, for a lot of people, they probably don't know, right? So back on July 22nd, those that are longtime listeners know I've been into Bitcoin. My day job, my full-time role is with Swan Bitcoin, which is an awesome platform, awesome team, great individuals. Basically, Swan was in preparation to go and IPO and was growing like a weed. So many great things were happening, right? Then there was a kind of an anchor part of the business, or a lead investor in a fundraising round that changed, right? And so it changed the trajectory of that IPO and some of the things with the company. And so they had to lay people off. I was part of that layoff, right? On the 22nd, I got a note that, hey, my role has been eliminated. And I was stunned, shocked. Like, it definitely was out of left field and wasn't something that I was, thinking about at all, right? It was the most fun I've had working. I've really enjoyed it. The team's awesome. I'm in a space that I'm very passionate about. And later that week, I was actually going to Bitcoin 2024 in Nashville, which is, the biggest Bitcoin event of the year. There's 30,000 people in Nashville. I was in a room with 8,000 people when, RFK and Donald Trump talked, and just seeing this kind of shift of kind of Bitcoin becoming part of the lexicon and part of the normal, talking points, even from a political realm, has been wild to see. But I went down there and was able to, use it as networking, use it as time to kind of free up my mind. I wasn't too, if I'm being honest, I wasn't too stressed about the situation, because I've always been able to find another role or find a thing, because I have these kind of core drivers and passions. It's, financial planning and advice and guidance for vet men, and having this desire to continue to serve veterinary medicine and having a role or connections into an industry that I have a really soft spot in my heart for. It is kind of the Bitcoin element of things. That's another area that I'm extremely passionate about, and find myself just wanting to work in and do things. And, then there's the traditional financial planning and advice and guidance, kind of investing and like building out, how do you get to financial freedom? And like, those are like the three core tenets of like me. And I'm like, okay, how can I then move from this role and find something else? Well, fast forward, I got to see a lot of my friends at Swan, some that were currently there, some that had been let go, but just great connections. Really enjoyed the time in Nashville. Great time. I come back, and on Tuesday evening, I get a call from the leader of the department that I was in, and basically says, "Hey, we screwed up. We effed up. I want to bring you back." And there was an outpouring of kind of love and feedback from folks that you'd worked with on the Swan team, and outside clients that said, it was all positive, and we realized we made a mistake. So I was offered my job back basically right out of a week. So as surprised as I was that I left, even more shocked and surprised that it was offered back. And I did say yes, because like I said before, is the most fun I've had working. And it's something where if I can go and do that, I really have enjoyed it. And it gives me the ability to stay plugged into the industry that I think is going to be part of a huge change, just from, whether it's financial planning, but just, again, broader, like human flourishing, right? Like upgrading the money and getting to a point where people can actually save again and just go create value, and so many different things of like education alongside this. It's a great place to be. And that's where I wanted to be. So I'm super happy to be back. But talk about volatility. I mean, my mind's all over the place. I'm thinking like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I already had plans, right? I'm always going to be, thinking through like what's next and how I'm going to do things. So I felt confident, like, hey, there's some opportunities. There's probably four to five things that I had opportunities, whether it was in the Bitcoin industry, coming back to being a financial advisor, like all kinds of different things where people had pinged me and were open to chatting. So to me, that is a huge blessing. And I, thank the good Lord up above that I've always had the ability to go out and find and seek out interesting things that I am passionate about, and that hasn't changed. I'm very blessed to be back at Swan, excited to be there, and foresee a really positive outcome longer term. And I think while it sucks, and there's so many great people that don't have a role any longer, I think for the health of the business and kind of refocusing the business model is good. And I think it's true, even coming back to veterinary medicine, of trying to do too many different things versus just really executing on the core tenets of what you offer. Don't forget that, right? Don't try to be all things to all people. And ultimately, there's a lot of good lessons there. And again, I go back to this idea of volatility. That to me is the theme of the last 2 years, right? I was sitting for a week in the summer at the exact same time last year where I was pushed out of a company that I co-owned and was unemployed again. And so I made the joke, maybe I need to go back and become a teacher because I seem to want to just take summers off. And again, it's a blessing because I'm able to spend time with my kids and do these different things. But as someone that feels like they're pretty good at what they do, it's like, why do I keep finding myself in a situation? And again, I am an optimistic person. I am always going to be able to take a bet on myself and believe in myself to go and do other things. Like, I wasn't worried, like, can I go find another job and make money? Yeah, I'll be fine. I can go find ways to go contribute and be a valuable resource somewhere, whether it's doing my own thing again, or if it's going to be an employee again. But all that to said, I don't have to do it. And the other thing that I've been working on, and part of why I think that the podcast has been a little slower, is there is a veterinary project that was teased out in one episode, and I will have an episode that actually is going to explain it and show you all. And it's probably one of the worst kept secrets from that standpoint, where I've talked to enough people within veterinary medicine and want to continue to about what it is. But it's going to be in regards to looking at if I'm expanding, if I'm opening a new location, if I want to just understand who I serve from a marketing perspective better, picking the right location to open up a clinic and knowing how and who you want to talk to. That is what it is. So thinking site selection of, I want to open up a de novo or I'm opening a second location, the data that you can pull and provide. And that's what I've been working on with a partner. And we'll have an episode that's going to do a deep dive. We'll have, I'll definitely tell you to check it out on YouTube because we can show some screen shares and just walk through the data, because I think it's so important. Because if you do select the right location, you can make some mistakes and you'll still have enough demand to flourish, versus going into a hyper competitive area that maybe wasn't the right decision, but maybe your heart got a little too strong versus your head, or there's a real estate person that maybe pushed you a little bit more to sign at a certain location because, hey, we booked it a lot. All those different things. This tool and this information and insights, I hope, will allow to unlock the confidence to go out and do your own thing, right? Ultimately, do your own thing and be really wildly successful. So stay tuned for that, because I'm really excited about it. And that's taken up, again, a lot of my time, where maybe before it was like, hey, I'm going to make sure I have a really killer podcast episode. I felt like that's been the passion. That's been the area I need to work on. And so that's coming. And we'll have a formal podcast / announcement and all that good stuff coming up soon. And so for anyone that's listening, that's interested in that, I'll have all the kind of next steps and questions you can ask, and we'll have some fun kind of promos around that to get out the information so people can have it in their hands, because ultimately I want it to be used. But yeah, so that's, from my perspective, what's been going on, and why I feel like I've failed a little bit from the audience perspective of continuing to put out really good content. But that's what's been bounced around in my mind. That's what's been going on. It's not that I've lost the passion or the interest in vet med. There's been other things pulling me, and then obviously this idea of volatility has been a big part of it. So there's some awesome guests, as I mentioned, coming up. I'm making the affirmation, I guess, from the standpoint of saying I'm going to go out and pursue some people that I've had say yes, and then it's just been hard to get them back on the schedule. And prior, I would just pester and get them booked and making sure that I get that done, and instead of relying on them to reach back out. So that's on me. What I would love to do is for anyone that's in the Facebook group that is has an email, which is just Isaiah@veterinariansuccesspodcast.com. If there's a topic that you want to hear more about, and you're like, hey, this is what we need right now in the industry, I want to have those conversations. I want to make it meaningful, and I want to make sure that this podcast is somewhere that if you spend your time on a walk or in your car or during a workout or when you're doing chores around the house, it's insightful and it's meaningful. So I've always been an open book. I'm always going to share things with you all, and I've appreciated the feedback that I've always gotten from that, and feel like it's important. So with that, what I would like to close with is this idea of, with your career, if it feels like, hey, it's not going the way I thought it was. Hey, I opened this practice, it's not going the way I thought it was. Hey, this relationship isn't going the way I thought it was, or anything, right? Embrace the volatility, because there's a reason for it. There's a reason why maybe your plans aren't working out the way they are, and you're getting pushed and shifted to something different, because that's where you're supposed to be. And again, I know everyone doesn't share my beliefs, but I do believe that, God does, put us in situations and ensure that we're working on the things that he wants us to work on. And I believe that wholeheartedly. You might not, but I do believe that. And, if you feel like, hey, this isn't the right situation, I'm working for XYZ, but I'm not feeling fulfilled, or I'm not doing this, like, life is too darn short to just put your head down and grind it out for the next 10 to 20 years. So don't sacrifice that. Look at other options. And there are plenty of experts that have been on this podcast that can help you do the next thing that you're looking for, whether it is doing your own thing, or if you want to just go work for someone else that's just a better, situation, better leadership, better, financial situation for you. Just don't stay with the status quo because it's like, oh, it's too hard to go do something else. And that, to me, is what I would encourage you is, embrace that feeling. Maybe the suck is not great at the moment and you're feeling a little discouraged. That's okay, right? It happens. It happens to everyone. And the quote that I always really enjoy is the definition of success from Winston Churchill, which is going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm, and just like keeping up with having a positive outlook and not letting the negativity like bring you down so much where you're just like, woe is me. And every industry has the woe is me. I see it obviously within veterinary medicine as well, with different groups or different comments. Like, this is a great spot to be in. It is a really awesome industry with wonderful people, and don't let the negativity bring you to a point where you're like, oh, woe is me, right? Because you do have an amazing opportunity out in front of you, regardless of what you're wanting to do and regardless of where you're at today. And if there are ever questions, you're like, hey, I just want to chat on this stuff, reach out to me. I've had some people that have found the podcast randomly and say, hey, I have a question. Can I talk to you? And the answer has always been, yeah, let's chat. And I don't have that many that I have to say no. And so if I get overwhelmed with more, I'll let you know. But I want to be able to help. And even if it's just, this is what I would do, and this is some food for thought, that's what I'm after. So let's continue to make 2024 awesome. Don't get discouraged with politics, whether you like one party and hate the other. Don't get into that. It's not good for your mental health. It's not good just overall. I think most people have a lot more in common than they give themselves credit. And don't let the divide happen, because I think that ultimately is the worst thing that can be there. And this is saying, and I'm saying that as much for me as anyone else, like, there are a lot of things that I dislike, and there are a lot of things I think are just terrible. But with that being said, the average person that I talk to, even if they hold different political views than I do, we can agree on a lot of things. And I think that's the part that you have to hang your hat on. So embrace the volatility. It's going to get wild. It's going to be nutty. It's not always going to be like, hey, this makes sense. And that's okay. So as we proceed forward, some great interviews. I appreciate you all. Thanks for listening. And we'll chat soon. Take care.
All right. So there are a lot of great job postings that I want to get to. And so we're going to start off with Bayside Hospital for Animals. Great work-life balance in beautiful Fort Walton Beach, Florida. No weekends, Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. No on-call or emergencies. It's an appointment only here. Currently a 2.5 doctor practice. New owner in 2021. Bringing some fresh life into the hospital. The new owner had been there for 6 years prior working, so definitely understands the team, the processes, and the community. Lots of investment in people and new equipment. ProSal is the pay structure. Far too many benefits for me to list. Email BaysideVet251@Yahoo or call 850-864-1857. Join a thriving, growing small animal practice in Vermont on the Quebec border. Full-time ideal, part-time is considered. The idea is to start with yes with the team, patients and clients, and outdoorsmen or outdoor woman's paradise while being able to practice high-quality medicine. Compensation is write your own structure within production capabilities. Literally, it is the owner wants to find the right person and is happy to negotiate, chat through, and find the right fit. If you want autonomy and a boss that enjoys teaching, reach out to Newport Veterinary Hospital. You can email newportveterinaryhospital@gmail.com. North Central Indiana, looking for an oasis in the chaos. Who isn't, right? Come join the amazing team at Fulton County Veterinary Clinic. They strive to foster a fun, fast-paced work environment while providing quality patient care. They utilize the support staff efficiently so that the doctor is available to practice medicine and do what you're trained to do in less time and paperwork, which is great. Lots of investment in new equipment and technology to support you, full-time or part-time available. Small animal and exotics are both seen there, so no ER. No on-call, no weekends, competitive salary with sign-on bonus offered, and far too many benefits to list. Go to Fulton County Veterinary Clinic. So type that in and you'll find the job posting there. Last but not least, join Watertown Animal Hospital. Personable small animal veterinarian wanted for well-established current 5-doctor mixed animal practice in northern New York, which is an outdoors person's paradise. Again, 2 of those. So if you like the outdoors, you can look at Vermont or New York. They have plenty of support staff with 6 CSRs, 6 licensed technicians, 4 animal caretakers, 2 technical assistants, a hospital assistant, a practice manager, and a bookkeeper. Focuses on mentorship and investment on the people and the technology. That's been a strategic initiative by the leadership team. No on-call, 24-hour ER less than an hour away. Salary based on experience, but no less than $95,000. Can be straight salary, pro sal considered. Want to discuss that with the right person. Tons of benefits. Again, too much to list. Please reach out to watertownpetcare.com for that option as well. So again, if you find a role or a job or talk to anyone and it helps you in any way, I would love to hear that feedback. So please reach out. Let me know what you're able to do. And I will continue to post these. So if you are an owner, reach out to me, let me know. And we'll go from there. And until I hit a capacity of I can't keep recording these, I want to let people know who are high quality owners around the country looking for great help. So with that, we'll talk soon.
Thanks for listening to today's show. The comments made on today's show should not be taken as investment, tax, or legal advice. All comments are for educational purposes only. You should talk to your professional team before implementing anything. If you want or need financial advice, my day job on Not Podcasting is helping veterinarians grow their net worth. Our team is taking new clients, and we are ready to talk to you at any stage of life. Come as you are. I always say bring the mess, right? Like if things are unorganized, that's okay. There's no prerequisites to become a client. Isaiah Douglas is a partner at Vincier Wealth Management. Isaiah is a registered investment advisor, registered with the SEC. The biggest compliment you can give me in the podcast is to share it with a friend. Reviews help the show get found, and Apple Podcast is the platform that is predominantly used for people listening to the show. If you have 3 minutes, love the show, head over to Apple Podcasts, give us an honest rating and review. It helps more people find the show. Also, the new YouTube channel is up, and I'd love to have you subscribe. Vainly, I want 100 subscribers at least. Lots more, obviously, right? But I get a vanity URL if we get to 100. That would be great. It makes it easier to find the YouTube channel as well. For all of today's links, information, head over to the veterinariansuccesspodcast.com. There you can subscribe to your favorite podcasting platform. It'll be a link to that YouTube channel I just talked about. You won't miss any other episodes, whether you list on Spotify, whether you have some other ancillary podcast platform. Please like, subscribe, all that stuff. It certainly does help. I appreciate it. Finally, if you want more information, insights, want your voice to be heard, want to share ideas for content, say, hey, Isaiah, I want you to have this guest. I want you to talk about this topic. Go over to the Facebook group. So you can search for the Veterinarian Success Podcast on Facebook or head over to veterinariansuccesspodcast.com, scroll to the bottom about your host, click on the Facebook icon, and that'll get you in the group. But thank you so much for listening. It means a lot to me to be able to see the podcast grow and continue to impact people. So with that, until next time, we'll chat soon.